my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, and you're all invited. Hi, my friends. This is Jay, and this is Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And just like I said, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, and I'm excited. Like I said, I don't know why, but I'll find reasons as we go along. Well, how are you? I'm glad you could make it, and I'm glad we're going to spend a little time together. Like I said, you know, I've been preparing and working hard, and I just thought, well, Jay, just think of all the friends you're going to have to share your birthday with this year. And that's exciting. Okay, well, first of all, for this birthday, you know, this is my big 7-0. Yes, a big 7-0. But, you know what, like I said before, what can you do? All I want to do is just look, be the best that I can be. And look, enjoy Jay's life's adventure that I'm starting on. Because, like I said before, I've not been here. I don't know, you know, what it feels like. I don't know the things that are going to happen. I'm just going to just kind of flow with it. What do you think? Think that's a good idea? Okay. Well, let's start flowing then. Okay. Well, first of all, I thought, well, Jay, what do you want to do for your birthday? I really don't want anything or want to go any place or do anything. And, of course, my family always gives me money, you know. I don't let them shop for me. So I knew I was going to have, you know, well, I still have Christmas money I hadn't spent. I still got a little of that. I still have Mother's Day money in my little stash I keep in my little secret place. And then I knew I was going to get birthday money. And I just looked around and I thought, well, you know what? I really can't think of anything that I really would like to have. Or, you know, something major I'm talking about. You know, there's some major things we're going to do in our house, but I'm just talking little things. And then, you know what came to me? Well, Jay, you know, the reason I don't really have a desire to kind of go find something new, or because I have a lot of, let's say, how about birthday gifts that I have never used? Yes. Oh, I buy, look, oh, Jay loves to shop. But then when I looked around to see what I would like to spend my money on this year, to my amazement, I already have it. So, for this little get together, I'm going to use this bag, not to put things in for my birthday, but to take birthday gifts out that I have had several birthdays ago, maybe 4, 5, 6 birthdays ago, and that I bought myself, but I have never used. So, I'm going to take this off and let's see. Let me just show you some of the things that I have in my birthday bag. In my birthday bag. Well, first of all, like I said, I'm going on this new life's journey, adventure. And I think I'll just take it down and sit it down here. Maybe make it easier, and then I can go through it. Well, the first thing you think of course, is, well, I might go buy me some earrings, a little jewelry. You know, everyone wants a new pair of earrings or a new necklace or something. And then, all of a sudden, I remember, well, what did you do with that pair of earrings you bought the other time? One of the other birthdays. Here they are. Still in the box. Well, I like to always catch Macy's one-day sale when they have the fine jewelry sale. I go over and I always buy me a pair of nice little gold earrings. I don't change my earrings a lot. And so really what I do, I buy the same earring because I seem to lose one or two every once in a while and misplace them. And this way I always have a pair of earrings. the ones that I really like to wear. I buy them, but I buy other ones, but I hardly ever wear them. But, so I didn't have to buy new earrings for my birthday this year. So why don't we put this right here? We'll sit that there. Then I thought, okay, I got a little list because I remember thinking, let me make a list of all the birthday gifts that I have not used. And then, of course, I had to look around my house because I got them in different places. Next thing, how about a nice handbag? Oh, yeah, that would be good. Well, a few years back, when I was knitting regularly in one of my knitting groups, they were all into Vera Bradley. I mean, they just loved it. They just bought the new ones every time they came out. They'd bring them to our little knitting group, and they'd let me see them, and they'd tell me all about them. I mean, you know how knitters now have project bags? Well, they had Vera Bradley project bags. That's how much they loved them. And eventually, you know, like you say, if you just kind of, you know, you kind of pick up what other people like. So eventually, I got on my computer, and I pulled up her site one day to see what, you know, what kind of prices, what, you know, just kind of to see if I might enjoy having one. And to entice me even more, my friend Karen gave me this little clutch, a beautiful little simple, it could be a little wallet or it could be a makeup bag, but it was really pretty. And lo and behold, on the Vera Bradley sale site, I found the matching purse. Now, this has been several birthdays ago, so this is probably discontinued. And I found it at a great price. And it's a beautiful bag. And look, tag's still on it. Look. And I can't believe what I paid for it. But I did get a sale. So, along with the beautiful gift from my friend Karen, now I have the purse, which I have never used yet, to go with it. Now I just need to make something. Maybe I'll knit something. I'll use this as some inspiration for a project in the future. What do you think of that? Is that a pretty color? Can you see it? I hope you can. It's really pretty. Be beautiful with some black. Or there's blue in here. There's several shades of green. You know, her bags are known for their pockets. Beautiful. I love this bag. So much I haven't even used it yet. Okay, that's just one. Alright, so we'll sit that one here. Let's see if it'll sit up. Okay, so I'm still thinking. Now, Jay, if I remember correctly, you had another purse. Well, I looked around, and lo and behold, look at this one. This is one that I bought myself. Once you go online or you buy a bag and they get your information and they find out your birthday, every year they will send you a special discount card that you simply redeem and get a discount on any bag of your choice. And this was the bag that I got. I didn't get this one off her site on the net. One of the stores in our mall is not a Vera Bradley store per se. It's a upscale luggage store, and they carry some of her pocketbooks. So I really wanted this bag for the color. All the colors that are in there. And these beautiful pockets. Oh, the pockets are deep and beautiful. Look at that. And of course, she's known, look, tissue paper still inside. So, brand new bag. Gotta find some, oh, look at the lining, isn't that pretty? Gotta find something or make something. So this can be some inspiration for a project. I think It would look absolutely beautiful out of one of these colors. Any of these colors. There's fuchsia and purple, there's black, there's green, there's kind of a taupe color. So, that's one of the gifts that I don't have to buy myself this year. We'll set that one here. Alright, so, then, okay, let me tell you this story. I need to tell you, alright, hold on 1 second. I gotta turn my fan on. It is hot, people. We have gotten already just steaming hot. Last year, this same time, right before my birthday, you remember I was giving Margaret Olander a Welcome to Georgia party. And, of course, I didn't tell them about my birthday and all that. It's just, because it was this, it was a party for her. But a couple of weeks before the party, I decided, well, you know what? I need to go and get me a little pair of shoes. I need to go find me a little pair of shoes, and then I need to find me a little cute outfit or something to wear to the party. Well, once I got to the party and we set up and we were taping and talking, and then people started coming in, and it was so much fun. Do you know, I forgot to change my clothes and put on my new shoes that I bought just for the party. So, I don't need new shoes this birthday because I have my shoes from my last birthday. Let me show you those. I was at Macy's when I decided to pick up this little pair of sandals, just a nice easy wear shoe, and these are some Anne Klein. And I thought they were really cute, and I thought I could find me a cute little outfit, and I would wear them to the party, and then I forgot to even change my clothes. So you are this is the first time you're getting to see my party shoes. Oh, party shoes. Look, see, brand new. So I just put them in tissue paper, put them back in the box, I guess I can start getting some wear out of them now, or this fall, or coming up, I can start wearing them a little more. But I bought them for the party and forgot to even wear them. So guess what? Jay didn't need any shoes for this birthday. Man. Okay, so I have one more thing. It is way at the bottom of the bag. Okay, so I don't wear a lot of fragrances, and I don't like anything real strong. And years ago, I used to have this wonderful fragrance that I would buy, and it was well known and just a very clean smell, and then of course life got in the way, and then you have kids in college, and you just kind of, I don't know what happens, why you stop buying things that you really like. You just do. And but I wore this fragrance for at least maybe 15 years or so. And as I was at the Macy's, walking around, trying to decide on something to buy for my birthday, to spend a little of my birthday money, I went through the fragrance, right by the fragrance counters, all the different ones. The Estee Lauders and all the others, and all of a sudden I remembered the fragrance that I used to really love wearing, and so I stopped. Now this is, if you're young, you're not going to recognize this one probably. It's not going to be something you're like, oh yeah. But if you're old school like me, how many of you remember Clinique Aromatic Elixir? Clinique Aromatic Elixir. Now this is the body smoother. It's like the lotion, body lotion. And I remember years ago they used to have a round little, it held the powder. It was a little round box, and if you open the box, then it had a pretty yellow powder puff. And when you got out of the shower and you dried off, then you took the powder puff, just like in the old black and white movies. You'd powder with the powder puff, and it was yellow too, and it was really pretty. And then later on, years later, they upscaled that box and made it a plastic box, and there was some kind of little something on top. I can't remember, a little knob, a little a little fake knob or something. But when you open the plastic box, took the lid off, then it had the beautiful yellow little powder puff, and I'm telling you. And then that way, when the powder was gone, you could use it for something else. Of course, you couldn't get the smell out because it was the smell. Now, they have several, it's a large line. They have several other fragrances, but this is the one that I always wore. And it is just, it's a very different and to me, it's a very clean smell. It's not strong. If it works with your pH, that's one thing about this one. And the way you do it, you put a little bit on and see if it works with your body chemistry, your pH. And if it does, once you put it on, you do not smell it anymore. You won't even be able to see if you have it on. But everyone else will get a nice, clean scent, a nice smell of it as you go by. Now, I don't use the perfumes and the sprayers. That's too strong for me. So this is more for me. So you see, I did buy something for myself. So this I needed. This was something that I remembered, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to buy me a little small this body smoother just to see if I can still wear it. So far, I'm doing great. So I'm going to sit that right there. And then I thought about, well, Jay, nothing else to wow my friends to tell them what I bought with my birthday money. Of course, I'm going to buy some yarn. I picked up some yarn at Joann's. I just had some coupons, so the yarn didn't cost me anything, so I don't really call this a birthday gift. And the reason I bought this yarn, because on the side of my bag, look at that. Something said, Jay, you need to make something black and white. So, I've got 4 skeins of black, and I bought a couple of skeins of white. And then I'll let this bag kind of be my inspiration. So, we'll have to we'll come up with something for that. But I did buy a little yarn, that's all, because I don't need any yarn. And then, I thought, I think there's one more thing I want to get. I want to, just since it's my birthday and I wanted something, unexpected. So let me show you what I got. Are you ready? Shut your eyes and don't peek. Okay. Look what Jay has. I went and bought lottery tickets. Oh my gosh, I was look, I said, I'm just going to buy a lot. Well, after all, it's my birthday. Who knows? I might win something. Look, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all different kinds of lottery tickets. Well, if I don't win, at least I can fan myself. So, I just wanted to share with you the things that were in my bag, things that I didn't have to spend my money on because I already had them, and I hope maybe one of these lottery tickets will pay off. Oh, so I need to put my lottery tickets right here because I've got to keep up with them, don't I? So I'm going to stick them right there. So, what do you think of Jay's Life Adventure bag of birthday gifts that she didn't have to buy again because I already had them. Oh gosh. And I'm sure if I looked around I probably could have found more things, but I didn't want to tear down any more stuff, and then now I had to put all this stuff back. I'll try to use what I can. I know I'll try to wear my shoes. I need to wear those. I love my, my perfume there, so And then we'll try to do some projects. But the reason we're here, though, besides my birthday, is to see my birthday shawl. This is Jay's Knit Lemons and Lace Simple Summer Shawl. Lemons and Lace Simple Summer Shawl. And I came up with the idea, of course, using the bag as my inspiration. This was the only brand of yarn I could find that had the same color or the same brightness as the bag. And so, instead of another sweater, I thought, why don't I do a beautiful lace edge shawl? This is in the same style as Jay's, teacher shawl. But we're gonna up the lace on the edge, a little more advanced lace, and just adding a few more features to it. Keeping it simple, because you know I like my things simple, but yet I like them to be nice, and that you really have a pretty stitch. So I'm going to take you step by step, show you exactly how I made it, because everybody knows that if you get lemons in life, just make lemonade. Well, sometimes, how about lemons in life, and we'll just soften it a little bit with a little lace. What do you think of that? Jay's Knit Lemon and Lace Simple Summer Shawl. Just for you, my friends. And of course, for the birthday girl, because it's my birthday, it's my birthday, it's my birthday, and I'm glad you're here to celebrate it with me. So, nothing else. Let's start the tutorial. Okay, so I thought we'd go ahead and get started, and you know I like to start with an overview. I'd like for you to know what we're going to make and how it starts and how it ends. And this is Jay's Knit, oh, isn't it pretty? Lemons and Lace Simple Summer Shawl. And so now this is I'm not going to be able to get this whole thing in the picture, but I'll do it a little at a time. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to add this beautiful lace right here on the edge. And when I found this lace, of course I'm going to show you everything, the pattern and all that. And I was going to use it for another video, for another tutorial. But when I found this, well, first of all, I found the yellow bag, my life's adventure. So, and immediately I just wanted that color of this lemon yellow. Well, I could only find it in one brand, as close as I could. I looked everywhere, and I went ahead and settled on this particular yarn, and I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But here's the stitch. Look at that. Now, if that doesn't look like I thought it looked like little lemon drops. Hence that little, you saw in the pictures, that little package of lemon drops. I thought, well, that could just be little lemon drops. And of course, here are the lemon leaves here on the edge that form the little scallops. See that? And that's mainly where I got the idea. And once I started, it was so pretty, so lacy. So now here we go. This is in the same style as Jay's teacher shawl. I start on one end. We're going to write our formula. We're going to go over everything. We have now this one I'm adding a lacy neckband to go along with the lace, just to kind of make sure that it will lay flat, and then of course it matches the lace to some, so that it looks like it goes together. Now, isn't that pretty? So we will have this section, the neckband lace. Then this is a section we will eventually increase all the way up, and then eventually coming down the other side we will decrease into. while all the time we are working the lace. Now, the shawl is simple, but if you've not done the teacher shawl or you're new at knitting, this wouldn't be the one for you to try. The teacher shawl would be the one for you to try if you're really new at knitting and you'd like to have a little shawl. You just find a pretty bright color and just do the teacher shawl and not this one. This one, even though it's not super advanced stitch, but we will be knitting the lace on both sides. There is no rest row, no purl row, so there's lace on both sides of the pattern, and you have to know where you are. And the main thing is, if you make a mistake, you have to be seasoned enough knitter to be able to calm down. Don't go to ripping things out. You have to be able to learn how to read your stitches and count, or, you know, to see where you are in case you do make a mistake. Because I got plenty of practice doing this one, but I was not deterred. It was so pretty. So, here we go. So, on this shawl, this is mine, I went up 20 repeats, or 20 of these little, see these little 1, 2, 3, these little leaves, I'm going to call them leaves, or little points. I went up 20. And now I don't know, let's see, I took my marker out, but I think I can find it. Okay, so I went up 20. And I could have just, I think from now on, I think I'm going to start just doing 16. Because remember, I shrunk a little bit, so I don't have to go up as... So then I would put a marker to increase up 20 of these repeats. Then I'd put a marker, and then I would stop increasing. And now look at this. Let me make sure I'm on camera. This is the back of the shawl. And then the lace goes across the back. We're still working the lace with no increases on this back section. Now, I suggest, and this is what I just like this. This is just something I started doing. If I go up 20, well then, of course, I need to go across at least 20 in for the back section. But I like to go at least one extra so that I know where the center back is. Some people like labels or whatever. So I'd go up 20, and then I'd go across 21. And again, of course, as we come down, we'll go back to 20. So if you go up 15, then you're going to go across 16. Does that make sense? Then you'll always know where the center point of the shawl is. So I've gone up 20, and then I get over here, and I have made, then I'm going to put me a marker where are my 21 stitches that will end going across my back. Now, let's see if I'm on camera on this side. Alright, so then we want to start the decrease section coming down. And of course it has to match the opposite front. And if I did 20 coming down, going up, then I need to make 20 coming down. And then the next challenge was trying to make this bottom edge somewhat match this edge on this side. And I had to do a little kind of manipulating the pattern a little bit to get it to end because of the way that the little points go. But we'll take care of all that when we get to it. So now what do you think about this? Let me put it back so you can see it. It's all crumpled up. Let me just kind of get it back. Alright, so now you've seen an overview of this pretty lace. You see the lace going across the back. You see that we come down the opposite edge. We have two pretty fronts. We have a beautiful lace neck. Now what can be prettier than this? Are you ready? Well, let's get ready to knit Jay's Lemon and Lace Simple Summer Shawl. Just for my friends. Alright, I'll be back and tell you the supplies. Okay, so now yarn. This is a stash buster. I'm not going to take a lot of time because it's something that hopefully you have in your stash. If not, you know, I use just regular yarn because I do a lot of large projects and I just can't put that kind of, you know, it's just easy to use yarn that I can get and I can share with you. And then whatever you want to use is up to you. How about that? Okay, so right off the bat, remember I said we're going to be using a lot of Deborah Norville's yarn. We're going to give some of that a try because it's a nice yarn and it really knits up beautiful. So here is Deborah Norville's Everyday, but this is the baby. On this project, I am looking, or hopefully you can find some light DK, lightweight yarn. There will be a number 3 in the little box. Now, this yarn normally calls for a number 6. And you can use a number 6. But I'm going to show you I use a number 7. I don't go down hardly too much to a number 6 anymore. The older you get, the tighter the circumference or the smaller the needles, the more you will start to feel things. So I just kind of have my limit. But we are definitely looking for lightweight or number 3 here on the yarn. Does that make sense? There's 308 yards. This is Deborah Norville's baby. It comes in lots of pretty colors. Let's see, no, that's another one. Okay, but it comes in lots of pretty colors. And I had a bunch because Joanne's had a sale. And I think you would like knitting the shawl in one of her pretty colors. All right, that's one. Let's go. All right, then, of course, here are some... you know, when Michaels one time had some Isaac Mizrahi, I bought a lot of it up as they were discontinuing. As they was getting rid of it, I went ahead and bought some up because, well, I just thought it was pretty yarn and I had no idea what I'd make. But this is a number 3 also, and they also suggest in the box a number 6. If you like small needles, this will be a great one. Like I said, I only go down to a number 7, and it knits up beautiful. Now, this is a beautiful color. There's 273 yards. I don't know. They don't really give a name, but beauty. Okay, well, this is a beauty. But you can see it right there. That's great. Stash busting projects. You will need I would have at least 3 skeins on hand. If you don't have 3 skeins, this shawl takes, it eats up a lot of yarn. So you will need at least 3 skeins. And then, like I said, there's 270 some yards in here, in this. All right, so now moving on to another Isaac Mizrahi, something that I got, when they were closing it out. Here's one that's kind of a variegated looking or tone on tone. Isn't that pretty? This only has 232 yards, so this was a little different, but it is a number 3 right there, as you can see. But this will knit up into a beautiful lightweight shawl. Remember, this is summer, and you want something pretty but lightweight, and all this little pretty lace is going to pop. That's that, stash busting. All right, here was another one. Like I said, I bought a lot, everything when they started selling out. This is a merino blend. For those that, oh, well, I want to do a merino blend. Okay, well, here's one. It's a number 3 too, and there's 213 yards in this one. And I bought several balls of this. At the very end, they were letting it go for $2 and something. I remember that. So I grabbed it up. And so now I'm glad I did. And of course, you got your standbys. Okay, our standbys are from Hobby Lobby, Yarn Bee, Soft Secret. And I don't even know if they ever give, well, they do suggest a number 7 for this yarn, which is great. They say it's a medium. There's a 4 in the window, but a number 7 will work just fine on this yarn. It's thin enough and lightweight enough. So, Yarn Bee Soft Secret. You're going to need at least 3 skeins because this shawl is long, and the lace does eat up a lot of yarn. And last but not least, after all that, I went back only because I couldn't find any other brand with this bright yellow, bright enough to match my bag. So I looked around, I was at Joann's, and finally I looked over at my regular, my standby, Karen Simply Soft, and I've used this yarn before on, I think it was a cloudy day sweater or something, sunshine on a cloudy day. It's called Super Duper Yellow. A Super Duper Yellow, or something like that. And I had a couple of skeins already, so I went back and just bought a whole bunch of extra skeins because I didn't know how many it was going to take at first. And as you can see, it is, of course, this is a medium weight, and they normally call for a number 8. If you do not have a number 7, and you say, well, I hate to go out and buy it. Listen, I'm about the process. I am not worried about, this is kind of a no-gauge project. If you have a number 8, you can simply, and you have plenty of Care and Simply Soft laying around, you say, oh, gee, I got a lot of Care and Simply Soft, I need to use up that, I'm glad you're going to use it. Then grab out your number 8. You don't have to go buy a number 7. But I did knit mine in a number 7 because I have lots of needles. Does that make sense? Normally it calls for a number 8. I'm using a number 7, but you can use a number 8 if you don't want to have to go out and buy a new needle. You need a number, like I said, number 7, at least a 29 inch. Here is just some simple number 7s. Here's a number 8, 24, 29 inch, whatever you have. You don't have to have a long, you don't have to have a 48 or a 36 or something. One of those smaller in length needles will work just fine. You can have bamboo, you can use metal, it's whatever your choice. You will need plenty of stitch markers. And I think that's it for the supplies. And now I need to get into the pattern and making our formula. So, what do you think of that? Isn't that pretty? Super duper yellow. Okay, be back in just a minute. I'm moving right along. Okay, so here is the book that I'm taking this particular stitch out of. This is one of Leisure Art books. This is by Rita Weiss, and it is 50 Fabulous Knitted Borders. Now, this is part of a 6-book set that I will be doing a full review. So I won't get into the review, now, because I love these books so much by Rita Weiss. They're like I just have a love affair with them. And I have all 6. Now, I have not seen anything new that she has added to those 6. So, but they are well worth it. They're not in stores hardly anymore. They're quite old. This set is old. But I'm sure you can find them at, used book sites and things like that. I don't know if Amazon may still have 1 or 2. But I don't know if you can find all of them. But anyway, this is the book that I'm taking the stitch out of. These are stitch books. These, like I say, you know that I design most of my things from stitch books just because I like to do my own thinking. I like to make my own projects and use my own mind to make my own ideas. But they are simple. I'm not trying to be a professional or a high-end knitter. I just like to knit. And I like to keep my things simple, nice and clean lines. And I like to be able to share them on my YouTube channel. You are welcome to knit along with me, like I said. But these are my designs. But I love sharing them with friends like you. And in her book, this Knitted Borders, I am using the stitch on page 17. Now I'm going to see, I may hold this up just to see. I don't know if there we go. I'm trying to check and make sure it's not, the light is not a glare. Okay. Here's this stitch on page 17. Like I say, these stitches are mainly in public domain. That means they're in a lot of places, a lot of books, a lot on the net, every place. And I just like to share the books that I find enjoyment, that I have spent my money for, and I have used them over and over and over, and they are great books. And the reason I say that, because when you find this stitch, it may have another name. She gave it the name in her book, Scallop Lace. Well, on other sites, they have other names, because I've seen the same stitch. And so that might be a little confusing if you see it somewhere else, but it's under another name. And just like us, we're going to take this stitch. She is providing her idea of this stitch, her interpretation, and I'm going to use the stitch and any changes that I need to make to the stitch to make my design. Does that make sense? But I wanted to give credit where credit was due, where I got I'm using this stitch out of this particular book by Rita Weiss. And I'll make sure that, and like I said, I will do a full review of all 6 of the books at one time. I just didn't want to just do one at a time. I want to do them all because they are I just absolutely love these books. So that's the book. We're together. That's where the stitch came from. All right, now the next thing we need to do, of course, is to make a working formula from her stitch. This is what I call mine. I call it a working formula. Since I do not give written patterns or permission to write my patterns other than for your own personal use, then this is how I come up with the design. I make a formula. Now I'm going to zoom in just a little bit just so that we can talk about what I'm doing, how to make your formula. All right, the first thing we know, I've already shared with you, we're using a US number 7 if you have it. If not, you could use a US number 8, or if you are a seasoned knitter, just like the yarn suggests, you can go down to a number 6. Everyone will be working this formula the same. You just decide how long, the length you want, that's all. But everyone will have the same amount of stitches to cast on. It's not a gauge project, so you can choose the size needle that you like. All right, the first thing that we know, what do we know, Jay, from just looking at that stitch in the book of Rita's book? All right, we know that her lace, she's calling for 15 stitches for her lace. See if I'm on camera. Yep. Okay. She's using 15 stitches. So on my working formula, all right, I'm going to take this bracelet off. We're writing up this formula. So I know that the lace, the pattern right over here, the lace is 15 stitches. So I'm going to write 15 over here because the lace is on the edge. I'm right-handed, so my lace is over here. If you're left-handed, your lace is on this side. Make sense? Makes sense. All right, I'm going to put a slash line because that represents where you'd put a stitch marker. So the lace is here on the edge. I have a marker. We're just working backwards here. I need a place, as I showed you on the original, to increase and decrease so that this shawl will grow just like that. We're not doing short rows. We're just going to simply increase up and then decrease down. So I'm going, and I like an odd number. On this one, I'm starting with the number 3. Okay, this is where we will add or take away a stitch to increase and decrease. Does that make sense? All right, then we'll go ahead and put another marker. I'm going to start using a slash so you'll know that's a marker. All right, now this is what we're adding. Here's what she gave us to work with. This is what I'm adding to make this shawl. We got to add something to make the shawl. So far we have 3 stitches to add and subtract into. All right, now the neck edge or the border can be anything we want. It just depends on how wide you want. Well, I chose 9 to make mine 9 stitches. So my border will be 9 stitches. Does that make sense? So now, if I add all of this up, her stitches, what I'm adding, and my 9 stitch border, I get a cast on of 27 stitches. That's everyone, everywhere. I just want to throw that in. Okay. Now, down here, since I'm making up this neck border, right here, I'm going to show you the neck border. I'm going to write it on this piece of paper so that I will make sure that I know what my neck border, how I work it. And I'm simply going to just do, you could have a wider neck border, but it needs to be an odd number for this particular stitch pattern. And the stitch is, I'm going to turn it just a minute so I can write. I'm going to knit 3. Then I'm going to yarn over. Then I'm going to knit 2. together, and that will be a repeat. So I put my little marks, and then I will end with a knit 2. You will do this on every row every time. Everyone will do the same front edge border every row, no matter if you're on the front or back, every time. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, repeat, yarn over, knit 2 together, and you will end with a knit 2. Does that make sense? So that takes up the 9 stitches right here. This is the neck border, and this takes up the 9 stitches. But the first thing we will do is cast on 27. Everyone is working the same, whatever needle size you're using. We will cast on 27 stitches. Then we're going to knit 2 rows. Cast on 27 stitches, and then just go ahead and knit 2 rows. So I will meet you back. Give you time to knit your 2 rows. I will meet you back to start on row 1, and we'll work from there. I will have him to put up all the information on the screen so you can take your time. You can put it on pause. You can read through the information that I'm writing. I'm trying to learn how to write information. I'm not going to ever get into writing the pattern. That's just too much. And then I got to start charging you. Okay, who wants me to start charging? Raise your hand. Okay, who wants to keep it free? Okay, free's got it. I don't want to have to do all that. This is enough what I'm doing. You know, I'm doing all these samples, and so to keep it simple and keep me moving right along so I can keep making things. So I'm going to put up some written information on the screen. Always after we finish this portion, before we actually start, you can, like I said, put it on pause, read through it, make some notes, and let me show you this. This is a good time to show you this. Just to help. Sometimes I forget, when you're doing something and you do it out of habit, you forget when you're trying to share with people. So let me just share this with you. All right, we've got the formula. Set? All right, okay. Now, after we have done a few rows of the pattern, and we start, I take my actual knitting that because we're designing this. We are making our design from this stitch. I'm sorry about the glare. Oh, I was holding it up. There we go. Okay. So you see, I took my actual piece of knitting, since this is my original design. I laid a little portion of it on my copier. Isn't it great to have copy machines now in your house? I laid a little portion of it so that I can see the stitch, and I can see the neck and all of that. You can see it. And I just hit color, and I made a copy. Now this becomes my black and white, or my working sheet. Now you can, what I put on the screen, now you can sit down, you can go back. See, isn't it great? It's on YouTube. You can go back anytime. You can go back, write down any notes, front and back, on this sheet. So if you ever want to do it again, or you just like to keep your own little library of patterns that you're designing. Does that make sense? So, and then I put it in one of these little protectors because I like to keep it. But that's it. There's a good way to go ahead and you can mark up this. If you don't have the book, to make a copy of a working copy of that stitch, then you can do it just like this. All right, knit 2 rows. I'll see you back. We'll put it up on the screen and we will be ready to start. Okay, so now I hope that you've had a chance to look at the information page, where I'm going to start trying to do better information sheets as we go along, to just put down little notes so that you'll have it along with the stitches that I use for the project. So, alright, so now we're ready to go. I have cast on 27 stitches and I've knit 2 rows. I'm using some larger yarn and larger needles just so that you can see better. Alright, I have some stitch markers out here, so put yourself some stitch markers. So as we start to work, we can add our markers as we go. And we're going to start, before we get to our actual lace stitch, we have to start at the beginning of our working formula. And on my formula, and yours, you should have, we're going to have 9 stitches that we're going to put in what we call our neck border pattern. It's a little lace pattern, and then we'll go from there. So let's start. Alright, it says on this lace pattern it's knit 3 stitches. So here we go. Knit 1, 2, and 3. There's 3 stitches. Yarn over, knit 2 together. Yarn over again, knit 2 together. Okay, now we end with a knit 2. You should have worked 9 stitches for a neck border. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We will place a marker. Okay, now the next 3 stitches, you know, it represents where we will eventually start increasing and then eventually decrease. So it's 3 stitches. I just like an odd number. It seems to work out better. I don't know why. But let's go. 1, we're just going to knit, 2, and 3. So there is my little stockinette. Knit on the front, purl on the back section. Now, I will place something really bright and different. This marker starts where the lace section. You should start with 15. Everyone should have 15 stitches. So let's check. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 1 is 15. Alright, so now we're ready to work the first row 1, the first row of the pattern of the stitch, and it is the right side. This is the right side. Now, row 1 of the lace reads, knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together. Knit 4, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 6. So let's start. So it's just that simple. I knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together. Now knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, yarn over, knit 1, another yarn over. Now you should have 6 stitches left. 3 and 3, 6. Knit those 6 stitches. Okay. Now, stop for a minute. If you're new, like I said, we're going to be working the lace. There's no rest row. There's no purl row. So, you have to kind of know how to find your place, or make sure you're on the right row, and that you have the right amount of stitches. There's so many yarn overs and little things here. So, at the end of each row, I give you, and she also gives it in the book, the number of stitches you should have for the lace section only. This section right here. And we started with 15. Now we should have 17. So let's just check as we get started. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 1 is 17. So I know I'm correct. That is row 1, the right side. Now I'm going to turn the work. We start right off on the lace section. Row 2 is the wrong side, and it reads, knit 6, yarn over, knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together. Now repeat that. Knit 3, yarn over, knit 2 together, and end with a knit 1. So let's go for row 2. Even though we're on the wrong side, we knit 6, two, four, let's see, 2, 4, 6, we knit 6, now yarn over, knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, okay, yarn over, knit 2 together, I don't think I got my whole stitch there, hold on, I think I didn't get, there we go, knit 2 together. Now repeat that sequence again. Knit 3, that's 1, 2, and 3. Alright, a yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. And just since we're just kind of learning this, at the end of row 2, just this lace area, you should have 18 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. We're doing great. The next section is a stockinette. Knit on the front, purl on the back, so I need to bring my yarn in front, slide my red marker. Now I simply purl these 3 stitches. Just like that. We haven't started increasing yet. Alright, now here we go. Now we are at the neck border. And remember, on every row, every time, everywhere. The yarn goes in back, I slide the marker, and I start off exactly the same. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, yarn over, knit 2 together. Yarn over again, knit 2 together, and end by simply knitting 2, 1 and 2. Okay, see, we're not doing that many stitches, so it will go pretty fast once you get the rhythm. Now I'm on the front side again, and this is row 3. Now if you are still you're still new and you think you might have a problem, you can just take a little piece of yarn and a crochet hook or something, and we'll just go ahead and do it. We can just stick something right here in the back on the wrong side, just like this. Okay, so now I'm on row 3. Row 2 is the wrong side, and I stuck it right there. Here is row 3. Now, every row we start the same. Knit 3 for this neck border. Yarn over. Knit 2 together. Yarn over. Knit 2 together. And knit 2. Alright, there's the neck border, slide the marker. We are up to our increase section, and row 3 will be the row that you do your first increase on. This shawl is going to grow really fast and really quick, so I had to put, I have a lot of increases. So, alright, let's go. We simply knit 1, 2, and then the stitch right before the marker. On every right side row, we're going to knit into the front and go and knit into the back of the stitch. 1 increase made. Now, because it will grow fast, and maybe you might get distracted and can't remember, did I increase, did I not, I don't know. You can simply take one of these some type of little marker, and simply slide it right there right near that stitch. Just a reminder, yes, I just made an increase. Alright, I'm ready for my lace on row 3, so I slide my marker. Alright, now have you noticed, if you notice on the screen, every right side row, the lace starts with knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together. So that way you can kind of get into a rhythm once you see how it's set up. So we just start with knit 2, yarn over, and knit 2 together. This is first part of the lace. Now that's done. Row 3 continues with knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 5, yarn over, knit 6, knit. Let's go. Knit 1, oops, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, you should have 6 stitches left, so yarn over and knit the last 6. Not bad yet, doing good. Okay. We can turn our work now, and you can tell that we're on the wrong side. Looks pretty good so far. So as soon as we turn the work, we're on the lace end right here. And row 4 is the bind off row. And row 4 reads, bind off 4 stitches, knit 1, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 3, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. Now repeat that sequence. Yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. Oh, so that sounds interesting. So let's go. Alright, so of course we have to knit 2 stitches to start the bind off. So there they are. Reach back, pull this stitch over. That's 1 stitch bound off. 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now we continue with knit 1, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Slip the 2 stitches, now knit them. Okay. Knit 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now knit 2 stitches together. Alright, now the little sequence. Yarn over, knit 2 together, and don't forget to knit 1. Sometimes I'd leave off that knit 1 and you'll be short. So knit 1. Now the sequence again is yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. And of course now we have to bring the yarn in front, because we need to purl our increase section, or our stockinette section. We've already taken it from 3 stitches, now we have 4. Okay, we're back at the neck border, and the yarn goes in the back, slide the marker, and we start again. Every time, every row. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, in with a knit 2. 1, 2. Okay, so how about that? So now we are on row 5. It's going fast, isn't it? And you see, that's the start of the little leaves or the points of our lemon drops. Our lemon drops are right here towards the center. You'll see them as we go up a little further. All right, so now we are on row 5. I'm going to see how much I can get done without stopping the camera. Of course, if you need to stop and count your stitches, row 4, you can see that we should drop back down to 14 stitches. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. All right, so now row 5, the right side, and it is an increase row. So first we have to do the neck border. Again, knit 1, 2, 3, yarn over, knit 2, together, yarn over, knit 2, together, and in with a knit 2. Okay, so now slide the marker. We're ready to make another increase. So I knit over 1, 2, 3. All right, in the last stitch before the marker, knit into the front and into the back. There you go. Move your little marker up. So if you get distracted and you can't remember if you made the increase, you did. Right there. Just pop it in. Slide the marker. And remember, the first thing on the lace is knit 2, 1, 2, then yarn over, knit 2 together. Now the rest of row 5 reads knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2, yarn over, knit 1. All right, let's go. We do a knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, knit 1, knit 2 together. Oops, a little tight. Oops, that's a little tight. Knit 2 together. All right, now there's a yarn over and there's a knit 2. And then in her pattern, she had an increase, but she did a make 1. I changed the pattern right here for me, and I'm simply going to have you to do a yarn over and knit 1. And there you have it. Now let's turn one last time and do row 6, which is the wrong side of, and if you need to take a count, this should bring you, row 5 should bring you up to 15 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 1 is 15. How about that? All right, now we turn the work. We're on the wrong side. We're on row 6. All right, let's go. Last row. Knit 5. Well, let me read it first. Knit 5, yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 together, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 4, yarn over, knit 2 together, knit 1. So we're going to start with a knit 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yarn over, slip 1, knit 2 stitches together, reach back and pass the slip stitch over, yarn over, knit 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now yarn over, knit 2 together, and knit 1. Now, as you can see, we're up to our stockinette. So yarn in front, slide the marker. Now we have increased 3 stitches to 5, and we need to purl on this wrong side. So just purl across, just like that. And I come to the next marker, which represents our next border, and we know to put the yarn in back, slide the marker, let's go. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, yarn over, knit 2 together, yarn over, knit 2 together, and in with a knit 2. 1, 2, and voila, that is one complete repeat of this pretty little lace edge with a lace neck edge also. And we have increased from 3 stitches to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 now. So now every right side row you will make an increase in this stitch right before the marker. That makes sense. And then you will continue to repeat the pattern. Let's just take a count to make sure we should end with 15 stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 15, which is what we started with. So now what do you think of that so far? Is that pretty? Can't see much yet, but you will. Alright, let me stop here, let you catch up a minute, and then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more. Happy knitting! Watch your yarn overs. Okay, so I worked a few more rows off camera just so that we can talk a minute, because now everything we've done, everything that we've done the pattern. Alright, there's my little sample to start. Alright, now you're going to repeat rows 1 through 6, and you're going to keep increasing on every right side row until you have the number of repeats that will fit up the front of your body. Like I said, I did 20 repeats, and I'm going to go to the real one in just a minute, but I did 20, and but you decide how long you want it for the front. But the thing I wanted to come back and say before we go to the original shawl and look at it, and we can talk some more. Listen people, knit happens. This is not a really hard pattern, but you do have to concentrate. And the thing I want you to know is, as you're knitting along and all of a sudden you realize, where in the world am I? Or, I don't have the stitches I'm supposed to have. And calm down, don't panic. And do not start trying to rip out, or you will never find your place. You will have to go all the way to the bottom. I'm telling you, Jay's trying to help you. So the first thing you do, we're just going to talk about how to, check yourself. So you're knitting along and you get to the lace area and it didn't come out. The first thing you do is check your stitches. See how many stitches are on this part of the lace. And then and of course you have the back mark, so you know when you're on the front side and the wrong side. Now, for instance, I was knitting along before I came back on here, and I made a mistake. Or if you make a mistake, after you check your row, and you know you positively should be on row 3, say, or we'll say row 1. I should be on row 1. Let's just count. See how many I have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So I should be on row 1, ready to start all over again. But somewhere or another, I may have left off. If you're going to make a mistake, it's probably going to be a yarn over. A yarn over, or one of these knit ones that your mind completely blankly skips over. There's some knit ones every once in a place. So the best thing to do is, these are things you just kind of learn to do, even if you're doing, multitasking. You just learn. Say, for instance, on row 1, how many yarn overs are there? There are 2 yarn overs. 3, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 yarn overs on row 1. And that's what you're going to look for to see you know, if you go back to see if you made a mistake and dropped one, which is probably what happened. But I can see one, and they're very distinct because they just kind of lay over the needle, the cable. There's one, there's two, there's three. So I know it's not the yarn overs, but that's usually what it is. All right, let's go down to another one. Row 5. How many yarn overs? You just do this in your head as you get ready to work the row. Okay, how many yarn overs? Make sure I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And so as you doing yarn overs, you're just checking them off in your mind. In my mind, I'm on row 5 and I've got 4 yarn overs to make sure I do. And as you do them, you just check them off in your mind or say them out loud. And that's how, you know, you can just double check yourself. But the thing of it is, don't panic. And if you have to go back and unknit a row to find it and put it back on, then you simply start and unknit back to where the yarn over would be. You can check your pattern. It's a skill building stitch. Like I said, it's not really hard, but you have to just kind of, it's not something you're going to, you may not be, if you're not really a seasoned knitter, you may not be able to talk or watch TV. Maybe you can listen to a book on your Kindle or something. Maybe you can listen to something. But but I did a few more just so that you can see how it starts to look. Now, I need to switch to the real one so we can talk real quick. Okay, so now here is the original shawl. I just kind of got it in a balled up mess. All right, now let's check. Now I need to reset my camera because this has to go out. Shut your eyes for a minute. Okay, that's good. All right, so as you can see, I just worked my way up to as many repeats as you want. I did 20. When I got up to number 20, finished number 20, I put a marker. Get one of those little markers that open and close, or some type of marker. Then, whatever number you did for the front going up, remember I do for the back, and I like to do one extra so that I will know where the center back is. And if you want to put a label or something, so you'll know that there's 10 and 10, and then so that odd one becomes the center back. Does that make sense? All right, so mine is 20 up, so that means I had to do 21 across. So I did 21, and as I counted, and when I finished number 21, there's 21, I put the mark there in 21. Now all I have to do is come down 20 to make it match the front, the other side of the shawl. Let me just make sure I'm on camera. Now this is what I'm going to do. Yes, okay, good. That's on camera. Good. All right, now instead of hold on. Now instead of talking you through it, because I had to try to adjust or fix this edge so that it kind of matches the other edge. So I left my little tail in here. I'll have to find it somewhere, but I'll find it off camera. And what I'm going to do is pull out. I'm going to pull back about 6 rows or so. About right here. I'm going to just pull this back. Where's my needle? Jay, you got to be ready. Okay, let's see. I was going to pull out this. There it is right there. Oh, gosh. Why did I do that? Okay, this was just a tail, and I just kind of stuck it in here. Let's see, can I find it? Yeah, I see it. Now, this is what I was trying to get to. I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to suggest that you do this also. I use the number 7 on this original. Now, whatever size you use, get a little simple pair of straight needles, one size smaller. Because I find that once I knit something, and I'm knitting along, and the further I go, the looser and more relaxed I get, and by the time I get to this end, my knitting is so relaxed, and it's so loose, that I find that it's better if I stop a few repeats Let me see, can I get this? And I was going to show you how I was going to pull it out. Should have been ready. Oh, darn it. Okay, let's see. I got it in here some kind of way. Alright, well, I'm going to pull out my tail. And I'm going to pull this all the way back so that I have at least 6 more rows to finish, and then the bottom. And then I will, when I see that I'm near the last repeat, I'm going to start knitting on these needles. A size smaller, and just some simple straight needles will work just fine. And I will see you back there. So once you got a lot of knitting to do, but I'm going to go ahead and put this part, I'm going to put mine back, put it on the tape, and show you how I had to finish this bottom edge. But you too, I'm sure, will be very loose, and it will help you if you just go 1 needle size smaller. Alright? Happy knitting! Just count your yarn over as you finish or before you start the row. Count and see how many you should have, and that's how many you should finish with, and you're going to be just fine. Just don't panic if you make a mistake. And don't go to pull it out. Try to read the stitches, but especially the yarn overs. Alright, I'm going to pull mine back, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've done some work off camera. I got my tail loose, and then I was able to get it free, and now I've worked a little bit. So now let's just talk just for a second. Alright, so I'm using mine as an example. I knew that I had to come down 20 points to make it match my other front. Alright, now on the instructions I say you can change it at row 4, but it's alright if you see the last point coming up and I'm counted them, and after you finish row 6 and you say, okay, the next row 1 starts the last repeat, then you can change to a smaller set of needles then if you'd like, because we're only going to have to go to row 4. So it's all right to change at row 1, so as you start the last repeat. And the idea of, as we decrease down on the instructions, right before the stitch, right before the marker, you simply knit 2 of those together. You just knit 2 stitches together. And the idea is, we started with 3 stitches. You try to get back down to 3 stitches. As, hopefully, if you've missed doing a decrease somewhere up in the body, then you may have an extra stitch or so. Well, then just knit 3 together instead of knitting 2 together. So as I come up, I am on row 3, and I am ready. I see that I've already knit 1, and now I see that I need to knit this stitch, and then when I knit these 2 together, or if I made a mistake and didn't decrease somewhere back, I had 3 left, and like, oh man, what am I going to do? Just knit all 3 of them together. Nobody's going to know it. But I'm going to knit 2 together to take care of... Oh, it's funny knitting with these straight needles. Okay, so now, hopefully you can get back down to 3 stitches, since that's what we started with. Slide my marker, and now I'm over in the lace section. That's knit 2, yarn over, knit 2 together. I am on row 3. Knit 2 together. Alright, now knit 1. Knit 2 together. Real quick. See, can I get across? Oh man. I hadn't knit with straight needles in so long, it's rough. Alright, now, yarn over and knit 5. That's 1, 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and on row 3, you should have a yarn over and knit the last 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I have 6. Yay! So, and right away you can see how the gauge went down a little smaller and it looks a little tighter, just like when you first started. Remember when we started it was tight and we couldn't hardly get our needle in there. Okay, this just brings it down so that it doesn't look so loose, and it looks a little more like when we started. Alright, so now the next row, when I turn to the wrong side, is row 4. Would be the bind off row, but we want to stop. We don't need another bind off row. What we want to do is to make, instead of binding off, we're going to try to make something as close to this edge as possible. If we bind it off, we just get another, we'll start another leaf. So this is what I had to come up with, just out of trial and error. Sorry, I hit the camera. Alright, so row 4, instead of binding off, we're just going to knit all the way across. Let's see, do not bind off, knit across the whole row. Just knit. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to knit a couple stitches, then I'm going to add a stitch by knitting into the front and into the back, just of any stitch. I knit 2 stitches, then I knit into the front and in the back of a stitch. I just added a stitch. I'm trying to hopefully make it look like it will match the other front edge. So now I can knit across. So I'm just knitting across all the stitches. You can just drop your markers now. Every stitch we will knit across. Let's see if I can get this all on here without my camera going dead. Okay, so now all my stitches are sealed off. The pattern is done. It's sealed off. I'm on a smaller set of needles, so my gauge is tighter. It looks nice and fresh like when I began. Now, the instruction says on row 5, knit across. So I'm just going to knit back on row 5 with this smaller set of needles. I didn't have that where I added that extra stitch in the instructions. This is why, you know, I just thought, let me see if I can try to make it a little more like the other side. And you didn't have to add that stitch. You can simply follow the instructions that I had. Alright, so I'm knitting across. This is why it's good to watch your tutorial through, because sometimes we do have to make changes. Okay, so here I come. I'm just knitting across now. Okay, and then I have, now it says, knit across, then bind off in knit stitch on row 6. So now I'm ready to bind off. This is the last row. Row 4 we knit across, row 5 we knit across, row 6, you see it started to make a little pull out like what's on the other side. It's not as long, but it's going to have to work. And now we simply want to bind off, and you have to start with, you knit 2 stitches and we bind off in the knit stitch and bind off. Knit another stitch and bind off. And another. And just try to keep it loose as you would any bind off. You know, you just take your time, bind off in your knit stitch, even though we're on the back side. Oops, I dropped a stitch. Let's see, can I grab it? Yes, I can. I can grab it. There we go. Got it. Alright, just keep binding off. And let's see what the end's going to look like. Like I said, I just threw that extra stitch in there because I was trying to see, but you don't have to. You just follow in what's written on the screen is fine. I thought, I wonder if I added a stitch, would that help? But don't seem like it did. Look, thinking on the fly. Keep it kind of loose. Don't let it, especially on these smaller needles, just kind of tug at it a little bit. Oops. Man, these are size 6s because you remember I used 7s to do my extra shawl in. So when you go down a size, just go down to the next size. So I just grabbed up these little bamboo 6s. And see how it's looking. Okay. Just want a nice little soft edge that I can lightly steam when I'm done. Oh, I hope my camera don't turn off. Please don't let my camera turn off. I'd have to redo this. We'll see if I'm still filming. Yes, I am. I hope I've been on camera. Okay. Yes, I am. Okay. Because I want to get to the end. Alright. Oops. I forgot to bind off. Don't get in a hurry, Jay. It has been a rainy night in Georgia. Well, it's been a rainy week in Georgia. I may not have enough yarn. I had already cut my yarn, remember? Because I had, oh, I got a little bit. If I can't get all the way to the end, we'll pretend. I had already cut my yarn, and then I decided I just couldn't make another sample. So I thought, well, I'll just pull mine back and show them how I ended the decrease side. I might get these last 3 little stitches. I'll see if I have enough yarn. Get these last. Oh, it's cutting it close. One more. One more. Okay. Man. Okay, so here is this side. Let me pull it up. Make sure I'm on camera. Move everything. Whew. See, it has a nice little curve to it. Then here is this side. Now this one had a little more droop in it, but hey, I could have maybe added more stitches to make it droop more. That might be a thought. Then I'd have to add more rows. No, I'm going to leave it just like this and just see if I can steam it a little bit. So, alright. There's the 2 ends, and of course you're going to lightly steam it. Going down, dropping down. See how nice and tight this side is with this side instead of really loose. So that's why you need to go down to a smaller set of needles. Well, I made it. I made it to 70 and I made it through this shawl. I don't know what you think about it, but it is really pretty. It is work. You need to take your time, like I say. The pattern is not really what you'd call a hard pattern, but it does take concentration. And I think you will be really happy with this pretty lace. I'm going to back out just a little bit. This pretty lace results as you wear your beautiful shawl. Jay's Knit lemons. Here's your lemons. And lace. Simple summer shawl. So what do you think of that? Just another little, I hope it's a little pick-me-up. At my 70th, at becoming 70, I need a pick-me-up. So what about you? Well, I have a pick-me-up just for you. So let me just show you this. Now, it's my birthday, but I know a lot of you may have June birthdays too. So I wanted to leave you with this little message. It says, thinking of you on your birthday. To my friends, happy birthday, and wishing you a world of happiness for all the beautiful ways you inspire each life you touch. Love you much. From Jay. So, enjoy your shawl, enjoy your birthday, and until we see each other again, look, I'll be another day older. So, until then, see ya!